Namaste Trump. Namaste Trump. Namaste Trump. Namaste Trump. Namaste Trump.
Namaste. Namaste. And hello to India. This is such a great honor. Let me begin by expressing my profound gratitude to an exceptional leader, a great champion of India, a man who works night and day for his country, and a man I am proud to call my true friend, Prime Minister Modi.
Do you know what Namaste Trump really means? It means good morning to a new conservative age. That's right, gang. We're going to take a look at the massive Namaste Trump rally in India and what it all means for the awakening of a post-globalist world order. It's going to absolutely make your week. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Steve here. A wonderful Monday to all of you. If this is your first time here with us, I post 2 videos a day analyzing current events in light of super awesome conservative trends so you can live in the present in light of even better things to come. So if you haven't already done so, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. It'd be an absolute privilege to have you as a regular part of this channel where we daily together celebrate the collapse of left-wing globalism and the unstoppable rise of a new conservative age. Before we get into the Namaste Trump rally and what it means for the dawning of a new conservative age, make sure to download your free gift, which we put together just for you. We call it our Fake News Antidote, which is a compilation of about 20 different news sites that I go to for my news. And you can download it completely free at the link down below in the pinned comment section. I think you're really going to enjoy it. It was an absolute privilege and pleasure to put together for you. And finally, look, I want you all right now to click on the link below and head over to my special website featuring our good friends over at My Patriot Food Supply with all the quarantines that we're seeing and the pictures of the empty shelves that are coming out of, Italy and Wuhan and all that. I mean, empty shelves are starting to appear everywhere, and it's such a relief to know that we have such good friends over at My Patriot Food Supply. They're simply the best, gang. And there's frankly never been a better time to stock up on an emergency food supply. No one makes that easier or more ridiculously affordable as My Patriot Supply. My Patriot Supply food kits last up to 25 years in storage. They include breakfast, lunches, and dinners. And if you act now, you'll save 40% on a 2-week emergency food kit when you go to my special website by simply clicking on the link below. This is a limited time offer. You do not want to wait for an emergency to happen before you respond to one. So take action now by clicking on the link below and save 40% off with your 2-week emergency food kit today. All right, everyone. Look, it really was nothing short of astonishing. President Trump addressed a massive cheering crowd together with the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi as part of Trump's official visit to India. Trump's speech in front of well over 100,000 people packed into a huge arena. He lavished praise on his fellow nationalist, populist, and traditionalist prime minister, saying that Modi is leading India's incredible economic and cultural success. Trump made it clear that America loves India, America respects India, and America will always be faithful and loyal friends to the Indian people. He called India a miracle of democracy, India being the largest democracy in the world, and its economic progress has only just begun. He noted under the Prime Minister Modi, nearly 300 million Indians have been lifted out of poverty, and that India's rise as a prosperous and independent nation, it's an example to every nation all over the world and one of the most outstanding achievements of our century. I mean, wow. I mean, that's some love right there, right? Now, this is not the first time that Modi and Trump have addressed hundreds of thousands of people gathered together in a packed arena. Some of you might remember the Howdy Modi rally in Texas. Do you remember that a few months back? It actually took place. I remember it well. It actually took place on the Monday before Nancy Pelosi announced the fateful decision that the Democrats would pursue impeachment, right? That fateful day when the Democrats sealed their fate for 2020. We did a video that week on how the impeachment circus would blow up in the Democrats' faces and all but guarantee Trump's re-election. But we also did a video that week that you could check out on the Howdy Modi video by clicking on the link. I'll link it down below for you as well in the pinned comment section. Hopefully we'll have some first-time Indian viewers here, some good nationalists, populists, and traditionalist viewers from India. You know, our audience is very, very international. I don't know if you know, but we're about 50%. The YouTube breakdown is about 50% American audience and 50% outside the United States. So if you're just in from India joining us for the first time, you are most welcome. You'll find you have a very wonderful extended family here on this channel. But in that video we did on the Howdy Modi rally, we noted that it was the single largest gathering for a foreign leader ever on U.S. soil. And my, was the sight to behold. And what we argued there, and I think it's just been confirmed here, is that what makes these rallies so important and so impressive is that when all is said and done, these rallies really are snapshots of what an increasingly post-globalist world is looking like. A world built on and ordered around national sovereignty, populism, and revitalized culture, custom, and tradition. Now, if you don't know, India has been going through an extraordinary transformation over the last 5 years or so. The nation as a whole is fully embracing a renewed sense of nationalism, populism, and traditionalism, and Narendra Modi is at the heart of that renewal. Modi is the leader of what's called the BJP, or the Bharatiya Janata Party. The BJP is a thoroughly Hindu nationalist party. They're actually the single largest Democratic party on the planet. And you have to remember how extraordinary the rise of the BJP has been over the last few years. Virtually all of India's political leaders, up until fairly recently, were educated in Britain. And this British colonial influence over India imposed a highly artificial notion of a separation between church and state, as it were. And so as a result, it's long been touted as your ideal secular nation, which is so odd because scholars have long recognized India to be one of the most religious populations on the planet. But because of this British colonization influence, India was highly secularized in terms of its government and education system and its standards of civil rights. And the problem here is that secularism was a European Enlightenment idea that was imposed on India's population from the top down. The population as a whole was never secularized. And thus it was just a matter of time before the illusion of secularism as something compatible with authentic Indian culture just came crashing down. And that's precisely what's happened over the last several years. Secularism is more and more seen by Indians as purely globalism. And thus it inevitably involves a politically leftist bent that was thoroughly anti-Hindu, anti-religious, anti-culture, custom, and tradition, and therefore thoroughly anti-Indian. Secular globalism became increasingly identified with an out-of-touch political, educational, and media elite that had little to do with the population as a whole. And so, back in 2014, the Hindu Nationalist Party, the Bharatiya Janata Party, won the single largest democratic election in human history. Modi ran on a thoroughly nationalist and populist platform. He was firmly anti-establishment, anti-elite, and this really was, in many respects, his election was this mass rebellion against the globalist elite that had been running India up until this time. And Trump and Modi are basically two peas of the same pod. They could not be more compatible leaders together. Modi's restoring a Hindu nationalist vision throughout the nation. He's been highly successful in galvanizing the vast majority of the Indian population to embrace a post-globalist vision of life. And that success was seen most especially in the latest 2019 election, where the BJP won their second landslide election in a row. They absolutely dominated the national election, and thus President Modi is now ready to work side by side with President Trump as the two largest democracies in the world to usher in a post-globalist world order. Now, Indian philosophy is a very interesting perspective on this new post-globalist world order. Many Hindu philosophers in India are arguing that we're about to experience an extraordinary historical, really a cosmic shift and change in our world order. I'm sure many of you know that Hinduism believes that time moves according to cycles. And of course, Hinduism's not the only, thought system that believes in cosmic cycles, but Hindus generally believe that we have thus far been in an age known as Kali. And Kali refers to an age of darkness, right? So our age is known as a Kali Yuga, Yuga meaning ages. And this is an age where wisdom and virtue collapse, where belief in the traditional religions and conservative values basically fall apart. It's a very sad age. It's a very depressing age, literally a dark ages, a grand epic of spiritual vacuousness and moral deviance and selfishness and the like, right? Sound familiar, right? It's an era of sin. And that's been going on for many, many, many years now. However, and this is what's so fascinating, however, Hindus now believe that the human race is entering into a new age, a new era, a new epoch, what they call Satya Yuga. And I hope I'm saying it right. Satya Yuga is a golden age where people return, right? Where people return to their religious and cultural traditions. It's an age of purification and righteousness. It's an age of increasing wisdom and virtue. It is, in short, an age of resurgent conservatism. And that, of course, is how many Hindu philosophers think of the success of Narendra Modi and the BJP, the Bharatiya Janata Party, which, again, remember, is the single largest Democratic party on the planet. That's saying something. A thoroughly Hindu nationalist party. And there is a collective sense among the Indian people that it's time to return to the customs, culture, and traditions as part of this overall era of return to righteousness and wisdom and virtue, the Satya Yuga or Golden Age. And so Namaste Trump turns out to really mean something far more than we've ever dreamed. Good morning to a new conservative age. Now, before you go, we just posted a great video on the civil war breaking out in the Democratic Party and the rise of the Never Bernie movement that's promising to absolutely make the Democratic Party implode. You're not going to believe it. So make sure to click on the link and I'll see you over there. God bless.